All right, hey man, how are you doing today?
Wait, are we starting?
Yeah, we're starting.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Not So Round Table, episode 116, coming at you. That's a really cool napkin you got there.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna eat some crabs. All you can eat seafood tonight.
Oh yeah, Evike.com dead rags work equally well as napkins as they do as dead rags. And if you get murked while eating dinner, it'll be hard to tell. I don't know if that's a selling point, really. Well, we have no official sponsor for the Not So Round Table episode 116, other than, no one joining us. But this episode is sponsored by TrueSpec. TrueSpec makes a ton of soft goods for the airsoft and real military industries.
Oh yeah, they make so much stuff. They make uniforms, they make gear, they make backpacks, they make... The list goes on and on. They're a huge company, so check them out. Check their stuff out on our website. We're going to be giving away some cool stuff at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about it then.
Red rag.
We need to, we didn't talk about before we started. Let's talk about a topic.
Oh, that's a very good question. What did you have for lunch today?
We had sushi for lunch today.
I had shepherd's pie today.
Is there something that you either aim to eat before going to an airsoft game, or something that you like absolutely avoid?
Yes. What you should avoid is this.
Avoid that.
Avoid this. Okay. You should definitely avoid drinking any type of energy drink before any physical activity. Period.
Yeah. Although, is Gatorade considered an energy drink?
Gatorade's a weird substance, and I say that in a broad sense because it's
not a juice.
It's not a
juice. Soda.
Like, it's not bad for you, but like honestly, Gatorade's no different than water. Like, realistically, just sports drink, right? It's a sports drink, but even still, most pros still just prefer water.
But you have to be working out or like exercising before you drink Gatorade because it's meant to replenish your salts that you sweat out.
Correct.
So,
yeah. That's what it was.
Beforehand.
Yes, right. Which is why Gatorade put a ton of money in developing their own water bottle, so that way no one can tell.
Oh, what?
Well, they have the Gatorade water bottle.
Yeah.
That you see on like ESPN, for football or whatever, for hockey, all that. But that's just filled with water most of the time, like 99% of the time.
Interesting. Electrolytes are salt. So.
Yes, but like let's be real. Let's be real. Let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow is Uprising 3.
Yeah.
Whatever number it is.
It's 3.
I know it's not tomorrow, Chris.
Well, it's tomorrow.
I know it happened by the time this video goes up. I'm aware. I'm saying... He just ruined the episode, dude. But, so, it's a 24-hour Milsim game.
Yep.
You should be eating something that's going to give you a lot of carbohydrates.
Sugar energy. Yep.
Sugar energy. And then you should be drinking a lot of water.
That's something I learned back when I used to play soccer was... The night before the game... You carbo load with like your favorite pasta, or it's something with like really easily broken down like energy sugars like carbs, and pasta was a great way to do it. And then you have, of course, got the mid-game orange slice break. Remember how someone's mom always comes out with a giant Tupperware full of...
Do they still do that? I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody
No, because what'll happen is because here in California, some mom will bring oranges, and then some kid will get sick a week later, and their parents will be like, "Oh, the oranges made you sick," and they'll sue that woman, that kid's parent, because somehow the oranges, made their child sick, and a lawsuit will ensue, and then the government will be brought in to regulate
and then
the slicing of
AYSO
oranges
is going to have
games.
to strike down a rule that no longer orange slices will be allowed at...
But yeah, before game, we recommend maybe some carbs, unless that's like against your diet. And then during game, eat something like nuts that are high in.
Trail mix is a good thing to kind of replenish everything. And what's funny is we're saying all of this stuff,
and we never do that.
No, I'm not talking about us. I'm just saying, but you never see anybody do that really.
Yeah.
Like, actually, what I do is I don't know if you've noticed. But actually, I don't drink caffeine when we go to events. Period.
I have not noticed.
You've not noticed. But when we go to events, I actually, the whole time I'm traveling, everything, I don't drink a Red Bull at all. Ever. I'm serious, for like a year and a half.
Oh, I was going to say, like, this must be a recent change.
A year and a half is a long time.
For how long we've been working together?
True, yeah.
This is a good episode. Wait, am I starting or you starting? I'll start. Why not? All right.
Sorry, I have caffeine.
That's okay. Daniel Frake asks, if you had to play against a special forces team, for example, the British SAS or the U.S. Navy SEALs, who would you choose?
Sorry. I'm thinking. I'm trying to like be some like.
Asking, how would you want to die?
Yeah.
Is it wait?
So basically,
play them in airsoft.
So basically, yeah. The real question is, if you wanted to get rolled by anybody, whose hand would you like to shake after they've rolled you in a game?
I think it would be interesting. A lot of I don't know what specific special forces units it is, but it's like you always see their YouTube videos of like their training where like they're climbing up walls and stuff. It's either like the Chinese or Taiwanese or like the Philippines, or Indonesian or whatever. So the Asian side, the Southern Asian islands.
Yeah.
They're crazy. Like they get on like a hook and then like somebody pushes them up and they go up like a window or something like that. You're like, what the heck? Like that would be cool just because you'd be like, they're over here, and then like you get shot from over here. Like what the hell?
So I was kind of thinking the same way. Like imagine, if you will, if all of the existing special forces like tools and equipment had analogs in airsoft, right? All of a sudden you're in a game up against the Spetsnaz and they rubber dummy, ballistic knife you, or find a way to toss a shovel into your back, a rubber shovel, and using like a lot of their non traditional weapon techniques. That'd be pretty cool. But I think overall I'd probably like to get rolled by I guess SEALs.
Not Spetsnaz though. I think Spetsnaz would be the most entertaining.
Yeah, if I'm gonna get rolled, or correction, you don't know if you're gonna get rolled. I mean, there's been times where airsofters have gone up against SWAT guys at
That's
GamePod,
fine,
and
but
they've rolled the SWAT dudes.
That's
okay.
SWAT. Like they don't train.
Are you saying that special weapons and tactics is not as good as some special forces units?
I'm saying,
even though a lot of them are recruited out of Delta and out of the Navy SEALs.
Right, but then because they have to adhere to a specific training program for that department, and they can't do a lot of their.
Okay, but
you know
I'm just saying that you don't necessarily mean you're gonna get rolled, but if you do, it's gonna be in a fun way.
Yeah. Although if you got rolled by one of the elite like Blackworks units, you'd never know that you had been killed.
So like a BB impacts you and you just don't call your hit.
Right? Like at what point do you sit? Like, yeah. It's like, well, that was a fun game. I'm done. Yeah.
I didn't even know I got hit. I just called myself out just because, reasons. All right.
Although they'd probably all be headshots, really.
Nut Wallfish asks, hey, insert and guest. How do you guys transport your Humvee to events? Do you have a trailer? Do you drive it? Do you have a special Humvee Logistics contractor? And what's the longest distance the Humvee has ever been transported? Greetings from Germany.
We can answer all of those questions
very quickly
when it comes to one event.
The farthest it's ever gone is Copperhead, which is in New Mexico, border between New Mexico and Arizona. So it drives from LA to that on a trailer. A friend of mine who does towing has trucked it out. Last year, the year before that, we did our own trailer. We rented a F550, and we
learned very quickly that was not the way to do it.
Yeah, and so we don't know if we're going to do that again. It's kind of costly, and but and then the other event we travel a longer distance to is the Hill 559 events, which is about a 5-hour drive on the Humvee. The last one it was going to go to was the last MSW event, and sadly on my way up driving it, noticed there was a leak in the heater core, so we decided not to take it up. So we did not drive it up to that event.
Yeah,
that's about as far as it goes.
And there's no special logistics unit that handles
it's basically I call a friend and go, hey, how much will you charge me? And
I was trying to make like an awkward pause, but
you did.
Okay,
it's
okay.
Right. I'm drinking with my pinky out. Don't worry about it.
It's very royal of you. Royce Albani Eden.
Why'd you fold this?
I don't know. Hey, insert. What do you think we as players should do to try and revamp the airsoft used market? Airsoft guns seem to go for pennies on the dollar used. How can we change that to get a more fair price on the used market? After all, if we can get a better price for our used gear, we can get more money for our new gear. Love the new format, by the way.
Interesting question.
Right.
By the way, the training post is this upcoming Saturday on April 15th. Make sure you're there at the Evike.com Superstore, and you can trade in some of your guns for cash.
Yeah.
All right, plug done. That's a tough question because, okay, like, I understand that some people want to get full value or a value that they feel is fair for a used airsoft gun, but you have to understand it's a used airsoft gun. I'm not expecting to get good value out of a used car, like especially one that's been modified.
Potentially.
I mean, you think about that for a moment. If let's say somebody modified their whatever car,
right.
And they're trying to sell it to you, like I imagine, especially you, as like, let's say somebody was trying to sell you a heavily modified BMW, but
right.
not modified necessarily in the way that improves it.
Well, I think what it boils down to is that unknown factor. So whenever you buy a used product, there's a huge unknown. You don't know who worked on it. You don't know what parts were put into it. You don't know how it was treated, and those are all the things that affect value. And that's really what you're getting at in terms of being modified.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if you give someone a spreadsheet and say, look, these are all the parts that were used on it. Not only are you going to get your money back for those parts, because they're not new anymore, but because you don't know how they were installed, whether professionally or otherwise, and you don't know how they were treated, that unknown equates to a risk that a used buyer is really not interested in taking on.
I've sold stuff at the Trading Post. I know other people have, and the stuff that sells better, or when you sell stuff, is you're going to sell it for pennies on the dollar, sadly. And I understand where you're coming from. If you sell it for a higher value, you're going to be able to get something new, or you're going to get more stuff that's new. But it's just really hard to justify. I mean, you think about it, like a new gun is how much? Like if you're selling a used GMP and it's $250 brand new,
right?
Do you expect to sell it for $200?
Right, especially when you can buy a brand new gun for less
mean,
money.
like to get something used, you're getting it used because you want a deal.
Right.
Like you want it for, if that, in my opinion, if you're selling that $250 gun for anything above $150, you're asking the world. Sadly, like I'm sorry, like to put it that way, but you really are you're not giving enough incentives for somebody.
Unless of course it is a fully customized gun by a reputable shop. Like I would argue that if you were to sell something used, like an umbrella custom, you'd probably get more money.
Absolutely.
Than had you built it yourself.
Yes,
you're still not going to get 50%
you're not
of its
going to
value.
get the value
right.
that you put in, the money you put into it back. No, certainly not.
Right.
But you're at least going to get some of that value.
Yeah.
It's only worth what people are willing to pay too.
Right.
Like, are you willing to pay like 10% off of new?
Right, because people will just buy a new one.
Exactly. So unless you're also willing to somehow spend more money for less perceived value, then you shouldn't also ask the same of other people.
Well, I mean, it goes for any market. If I buy a lot of equipment, looking for deals on eBay. It's like I've gotten all my sword-ins for dirt cheap because I've scoured eBay for these items, and that's how I was able to obtain some nicer shooting ear protection, stuff like that. Like these guys are selling are selling their headsets that if I bought it new would cost way more than what I'm paying for.
Right.
But like that's, some people don't understand that concept. It's just like if I'm buying a pack or if I'm buying anything, like you expect it to consider the used risk. You have to have the reward of it's this much off.
Right. Like you E30 owners. Quit trying to sell your beat up, crappy, poorly maintained stance, bro. Look at how hella flush I can be. I put a wood grain steering wheel that isn't safe and a Jafster shift knob. I'm charging $9,000 for a car that's 20 years old with 250,000 miles on it. Knock it off. Your car isn't worth that much. Be realistic.
Drop. This episode insert is sponsored by TrueSpec. TrueSpec makes some really good tactical apparel, including BDUs, tactical range bags, backpacks, and more.
TrueSpec for the true professional.
My name is Evike Matt. I'm gonna answer the next question.
It's your question.
No, it is not.
It is.
We should
Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed that commercial break.
How much is this show turning into Wayne's World?
I hope not.
We need
that was not my intention at all.
No, we need to turn this more into Wayne's World.
Damn it.
I like to see you as Wayne and Garth.
Wait, who's Wayne and who's
Tune in
Garth?
for 117 when we'll both be wearing wigs.
Like seriously, who's Wayne and is he Wayne?
I feel like
I feel like I'm more Wayne.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be Garth.
Yeah. Woot! I'm the main character now.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Could be one.
I don't know. I don't know that either one of them is really a good thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Tactical grouse action photographer. Huh. Dear Insert, what happened with the Evike Tech YouTube channel? Love the show. Keep up the good works. Greetings from Sweden. Sweden.
Hello. Sorry, I don't. Hello. What's going on?
I
Sweden?
understand your Swedish roots.
Yeah.
I have some friends in Sweden. I have some cousins in Sweden. My mormor was from Sweden.
Your what?
That means mother.
Oh.
In Swedish.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Oh,
That was
whoops.
Okay. I don't know actually what happened to that. I know that we did it.
Okay,
The
so the
videos
YouTube
are
Tech
still
channel was
available.
like, it was maintained by one person who was working here at the time, and the goal was to solve tech issues for CS and be uploading that content. I don't know why it went away. That person didn't, left the company, and then it just kind of never got picked up. Maybe it's a project that we should all make Ryan do in the future. Go ahead and comment below if you think that Valley River Arms would be a great candidate to do the YouTube channel for the tech department.
I'm so sorry.
He didn't even do it. I did it. It's okay. He's gonna make fun of me later, I'm sure. I mean, he'll be editing this, so. We really didn't answer that question.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know what happened to it. It was before. The current iteration of our marketing department. It's something we're looking at bringing back. The original videos really didn't have the polished quality or information that we're looking to include in videos now. So until that we can revamp that in a format that's easy to understand and follow, and something that's practical and usable for the
And consistent.
for the viewer and consistent in its information, it's kind of on hold for now. But rest assured, we're considering bringing it back, and we're trying to find a way to do that, effectively for you guys.
That is a really good answer. I can't even compare to that answer.
Going into politics, so
Yeah.
Okay, so TNP Sheepdog, dear Insert, what do you keep in back panel on mold-on assault packs besides a hydration bladder, and how do you refill your bladders during game? It seems like the concept of the mold-on assault pack is kind of pointless without a teammate to get whatever you need for you, but but all of you seem to run them. So, thoughts?
Very confused.
He brings up a very good point. So for our plate carriers, when we run back panels, most of us, if not all of us, run at least a hydro carrier.
Correct.
But some of us run additional stuff, whether it be mag pouches or grenade pouches or whatever it is. And his question is that pointless if you're not running in a team because that requires someone to grab it for you? Do you have suggestions for what else could be run there, in addition to a hydro carrier? Also, how do you refill your hydro carrier in game?
To answer how to refill that in game, the only game I can think of that you're refilling in the actual game is Milsim West, and they have water provided, drinking water that they do for their events.
And then it's real quick, open the pack.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of on a different level. If you're doing it, obviously, in the parking lot, just bring a couple of gallons of water and you just fill it.
Yeah. You should always bring more water than you can carry on you and leave it at your staging area.
Yeah. And if you prehydrate, you won't need if you prehydrate well enough, you should not go through more than 72 ounces of water for an 8-hour period of time. If you prehydrate well enough.
I'm not prehydrating well enough.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We all don't. Anyway, so getting into the packs. If you don't run a team, that is a good point. I have pouches on the back. You have yes, somebody else is getting that for you if it's mounted to your pack. There are other pack options I know Jet runs.
He runs a backpack.
Yeah, so it's an HSGI backpack, right. I think, and he just unclips it and just pulls out what he needs.
So he runs his plate carrier slick on the back instead of running a back panel, and then runs his hydro in the backpack that he can remove.
Yeah.
That's a great option. It works especially well if you're just doing a chest rig. A backpack combo is a great way to fill out your gear.
What's really cool is if you're running the Haley Strategic D3s, what you can do is you can actually clip it onto the Mil-Spec Monkey ASAP pack or whatever, that small pack. You can actually clip it all together with the clips that are included, which is kind of cool. And then what's awesome is if you need to unclip it, you just unclip the side clip, and then you just get access to your bag, and you put the whole setup back on.
But you can't unclip the backpack and have the D3 stay on.
Correct.
The whole thing would need to be removed.
Yes, but you can always just run a chest rig and just run the bag if you want that setup.
Yeah.
But it's not hard to just put it back on really quick.
And then to comment on, what to do if you're not running with a team. I've been in countless Airsoft games where I'll be with just another group of players, because rarely am I on my own completely. There's usually other players on the corner of a building with me, or or in game with me, and it's easy enough to ask another player to grab something for you. I've been asked dozens of times, like, hey, can you grab such and such, and people are 9 times out of 10 willing to do it for you.
On a last note, I remember part of the question was, what do you keep in there? A good advice would be to keep, obviously, hydration, keep extra BBs, keep an extra. I would always keep an extra dead rag or a rag of some kind. There is a unjamming rod that I highly recommend. We actually sell it. It kind of winds up into you could wind it up into like a little coil, and it can go in your bag, because everybody's always asking for an unjamming rod. Pyrotechnic, grenades, speed loader, that kind of stuff.
Replacement batteries if you need an extra battery.
It's good, yeah.
And not just for your AEG if you're running an AEG, but for flashlights, red dots, whatever. Having one on the field saves you going back to the staging area.
My turn.
Yes.
Kim Jong SquarePants. Right, just lost it. Answer, impossible guest from Canada. I guess Robo's here. I'm looking for high-end BDUs with built-in knee pads that are M81 camo. Price is not a factor. Thanks. Love the show. Keep it up.
Oh, that's easy. Beyond Clothing.
Yeah, Beyond makes some good pants. They're under $200. If you want to
Some of their pants are under $200.
Sorry, some of their pants are under $200. They have sales. Yeah. They have pretty good sales from time to time.
I've got a set of their Axiom A9s. I really, really like them.
And I have the one below that, whatever.
So you got the A9 Alpha and the A9U. I was just combining them.
Oh, okay.
So I think you've got the Alpha, and I've got the A9U.
Yeah, you had the more expensive one. I have the cheaper one.
Really, though, anything that takes a hard shell knee pad insert that doesn't have a hole cut out for it for that hard shell knee pad insert is a waste of time. Because you're just going to rub through the fabric of your pants. So if you know somebody who's a seamstress or is comfortable enough,
it's really simple too. You just basically cut it into an X and then you just fold it in and sew it.
Right.
You can do it with a standard home sewing machine. It's really a piece of cake.
The Beyonds are fantastic pants, but you got to get holes put in them.
Or if you really want to look for them, like Cryo M81s do exist. You can find those
for very much
for very expensive money. I mean, Miguel got a set. I don't know why.
They're not real.
You don't think so?
Those aren't real. There's no way. They never did scrunchy elastic right there.
Well, I don't know. That's you just totally got them like this. There's some other companies. There's one that like Samapo makes some.
Oh yeah.
So I've seen some Samapo products. They're pretty decent for what they are. Same with
Toy Soldier.
Toy Soldier makes some that are pretty decent. There's one company, I forgot what it's called. I had their top for a while, and it's a really solid. Like, I was actually impressed by that repro. But there are some good repro.
Rasputin?
I don't think
that's just TMC.
That's just TMC. But I mean, like, there's some that make really good repros. So definitely check some of those out. And there's also some guys on YouTube on eBay who just make like turn true spec pants into Cry style pants, and they're relatively affordable.
Mm-hmm.
There, you have options.
There you go. Options. Everybody loves options. Boom. Okay. JKill959. Dear Ensert, what do you look for when choosing a red dot since there are so many options? Excellent question, JKill959.
We like whatever looks the coolest.
A lot of it has to do with looks, especially for how often I actually use mine. But I will say, after having used one for the past year, things that I tend to look for now when outfitting future rifles is how easy is it to look through? How easy is it to look through when wearing a mask, when you've got your cheek up against your rifle? How easy is it to adjust for windage and elevation? How accurately does it hold that zero once you've shot it or dropped it or wrestled with your rifle on the airsoft field? as well as, and this is a big one for me, how long does the battery last? Because I forget a lot to turn off my red dot battery. I just forget, and then the next time I open my case, the battery's already dead. Whereas I've come across some red dots that they'll last an entire year with the battery on, with the light on. So I pay a lot of attention to battery life.
Yeah, battery life is a huge thing. That's why. What's cool is if you are really a fan of, almost everybody loves the look of the T1 or micro red dot style. The cool thing about them is everybody can make a style like that because it's a non-patent issue apparently, because the patent's only involving the battery and how the thing projects. So that's why you see companies that are USA based companies like Primary Arms, for example, who we now carry actually some of their optics. I don't know if we're carrying their micro red dot, but those have they're under they're not Airsoft optics in terms of being sub $50, but they're in the $100 range, and they will last. I use a Primary Arms on one of mine, and it lasts. If I forget to do it.
Thanks for sharing that information, George.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You should definitely check one out.
Thanks.
But you don't even. Yeah, no, exactly. Them too. Vortex. I think True Glow is kind of one of those companies as well.
Has one. I don't know what their battery life is. I know the Hollow Sun lasts a really long time though.
So there you go, guys. Those are the most important things. JKill959 for a red dot. Battery life.
And then whatever you end up getting, definitely protect the glass.
Thanks. I didn't do that either.
Kill flashes are a thing. They do a pretty good job. You could do a custom piece of Lexan. You can get a piece of Lexan from Home Depot for like $8, and you can just Dremel it out and tape it to the front. Like with plumber's tape, or not plumber's tape.
Electrical tape.
Not electrical tape, or that tape. No, that tape that like only sticks to itself.
Oh no, it's like a clear. Yeah.
It's only
it's
sticks
for
to
fixing houses and stuff.
Yeah, it only fixes to itself, so that way you're not like ruining the coating.
It is. It's ceramic.
Yeah, so you can always do creative options like that. Look at that. We just hit you with some knowledge.
There you go. That was a useful question, JKL959. I will always remember your name.
You will?
Oh, no, but... All right, let's do one last question, and then we'll tell people about what we're giving away.
Well, don't we have to talk about the question?
Yeah, we will.
We will?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Fear Roback. His name is Great Show. Love your thoughts. What are your thoughts on headshots and torso shots? Any fear of shooting tooth out while taking a headshot?
Whoa, what?
It's literally asking, what are your thoughts on headshots over torso shots? Any fear of shooting a tooth out when taking that headshot? I think it's kind of up to, like... I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, I mean, I know that you came about with the old school airsofting mantra, where it was like you kind of it's a bad saying, but it's like you got what you deserved. Well, in a way if you weren't calling your hits, people would go for your head.
So 90% of the time I will take torso shots, simply because it's nicer. You've got more cover there. And then what I'll usually do is a real quick spot check as I put sights on somebody. If they're not wearing Face Pro, I will force myself to continue to take torso shots. If they're wearing lower Face Pro, not so much of a concern. If they don't feel the torso shot, I'll try to get them, in a place where it doesn't hurt. If you're still not feeling the hits or calling them, then I start kind of guiding my shots to more sensitive areas.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's kind of up to you as a person. Like headshots happen all the time because that's the only target you have. Mm-hmm. Or that's just where the BB ends up. Like, I mean, it's not like, unless if you're shooting plus 100 yards, you're not really going to be able to decide where the BB even hits the person,
Well, plus, dude, if someone's peeking a corner and this is all you have presented to you.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I always try to go, torso. I think that's like the standard for most people, but sometimes it happens. So that's up to the player to use Face Pro or not. Yeah. I mean, you kind of...
If you're, Ryan, you lay down on your side and take ankle shots because you're dirty like that. He's throwing gang signs. Yeah.
I have no other thoughts on this.
No, I mean, we answered the question. One other thought I had about food. So the way, kind of energy works is if you eat real quick in the morning and only hydrate in the morning and then you go play, the minute you come off the field after the game into the staging area, your body's going to feel worn out, like you're out of energy. And that's because you haven't kind of kept your energy up by intaking energy-giving foods.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the suggestions I have is bring something snackable on the field. Almonds are a wonderful way to keep your energy up on the field. You can keep them in a pouch, on your gear, and it's just something to, throw a couple in your mouth when you're, at regen while you're still in game. Take a sip of water, and if you can keep your energy up throughout the day, you won't crash as soon as you get off the field.
That's a good point.
And it's something I actually learned from Robo. So.
Well, of course, Robo is the would definitely be the one to give a lot of good advice when it comes to that kind of stuff.
He also told me to get lots of tattoos and that it would up my energy level. But
That
I take
is-
certain pieces of his advice with a grain of salt.
Tattoos and a bigger beard, you have to let it really kind of go.
He was just like, listen, Matt, you really need to work on your beard. And I was like, dude, Robo, I can't. Like, there's nothing I can do. And he was like, well, then you're always going to be a second-rate airsofter. And I was like, you're right, Robo.
Wow.
This conversation never
This
happened.
conversation went really weird.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode of the Not So Round Table. Episode 116, we're using TrueSpec as our sponsor, and in celebration of TrueSpec as a wonderful annual partner of ours and sponsor for the channel, we're going to be giving away 3 different garments. You'll see them here in front of you. The one right here on my left, George's left here, is the TrueSpec uniform shirt in multicam. I think that is a size medium.
Yeah, medium regular.
Medium regular. This is also medium regular. This is the ATAX Arid. Same TrueSpec TRU uniform. And then, of course, we've also got something for cold weather, which we realize summer's coming, and this isn't going to be as useful, but you never know. You might be in a night game where it gets a little chilly. These cold weather tops protect really well. They've got a lot of thermal insulation. They're extremely comfortable, and they come in a ton of colors. This is the TrueSpec quarter zip, meaning the neck is a quarter zip thermal combat top, available in multicam as well. This one's size is a large regular. So we've got 2 medium regular combat tops and a large regular thermal top. Tune in on Friday to our Facebook. I'll make the announcement and put up a picture of these awesome garments. And if you missed the episode so far, you're watching it now when you click the link on Friday anyway. So, we'll see you guys later.
Huh? What was the last part?
Well, because if they haven't watched it on Wednesday, and then
Okay.
so then now they're seeing the post on Friday, and then now they've realized.